Hey guys, I'm Dupree, and today I'm showing you how to aim pool shots. So this is a question I get every day, pretty much every hour. How do I aim? How do I aim? How do I do this? How do I do this? How do I aim so I can make most of my shots? How do I do this? So I'm finally just going to show you how to aim pool shots. So aiming is not very difficult once you get the concept down. Most players aim, well, not most, all professional players aim. Their aiming is done before they're down. You'll see them, bam, aiming's already done. Aiming's done. I don't have to move anything. I can look away. It'll still go in. Because I'm already aimed, I'm already stable. And you may be thinking, wait, how do you aim that fast? It's all about finding this special spot called the shooting line. And what I mean by that, imagine this 3-ball is the cue ball. So, to send the 8-ball into that side pocket, the cue ball would have to hit it right there. Right there would send it right into the heart of this side pocket. Heart just means middle of the pocket. So, if I hit right where that 3-ball is, if that 3-ball's not there and I still hit right where that 3-ball is, that 8-ball is going right into the middle of this pocket. So, this ball is obviously not going to be there in games, but we're going to take our dominant foot. So let's put that back just to demonstrate this. So that is where we need to hit with the cue ball. So imagine this little line through the ghost ball. This is called the ghost ball, by the way, because in games it's not there, but we're aiming for that ball like it's there. So we put a line through the ghost ball, the cue ball, in our dominant foot. So my right foot is going to be back, and our dominant foot is facing, when I get down on this shot, my dominant foot is like facing towards my dominant side. So if you're left foot, I guess you'd be like, see if I can get closer to the camera so you can see my feet. You'd be like that if you were shooting. Well, I'm trying to configure myself. If you're dominant right hand, this is what your shooting stance will be. If you're long right here, if you're dominant left hand, it'll just be opposite. You see how my dominant foot, wherever it is facing like outside, and the other one is facing the opposite direction. So we want it like that. That's what I'm trying to get to. So that's how you stand. And let me just show you the little secret. When you line all that up with your dominant foot and stuff, when you get down on the table, your cue falls naturally on the line. So we're not aiming with the cue, we're aiming with our feet. And when we get down, the cue falls naturally on the line. We do not need to grip the cue tight. That means we clench up, we have a short backstroke, and we kind of just jerk at it. And that's never good. You'll probably miss the ball. So I just use about 2 fingers very lightly, and I just use my wrist. Some players will have a slight elbow drop like that, but it's best to have as little movement as possible. I have an elbow drop in my regular game as well. So just if you have an elbow drop and you don't really want to change it, you can try changing it with just doing your wrist, but if you want to keep your little elbow drop, just be prepared to spend a lot of time on the table. You're going to need more practice than others. So let's go ahead and take this ball away, like we're in a real game. So we're imagining that ball is still right here. So we're putting our foot on that line with the cue ball and that ball. We're using a closed bridge. And we're not worried about where the cue ball goes right now. We're just worried about pocketing this ball. So we're just going to hit with center ball. We may come close to that corner pocket. And we're just going to big backstroke, forward stroke, follow through the cue ball. You want your tip to kind of hit somewhere on the table at the end, or just stay above. But you want to follow through entirely through the cue ball. You're going to have to do a few drills if you can't really get this follow through right, like just shoot a ball into a corner pocket. And if this is what your stroke should look like. Straight through, follow through. If you cannot follow through, like that's not natural for you, you're just gonna have to force yourself to follow through until you can do it naturally, like that. So that's just practice drills that you can do. You can do that about 1,000 times and you should be able to follow through regularly. So we're gonna find our ghost ball, put our dominant foot on the line with the cue ball and the ghost ball. Get down about 2 fingers on the cue. Center ball, long backstroke, forward stroke. Okay, so now you know the mechanics of shooting. So now I'm going to show you the shooting routine. It's best to never jump up. I know I kind of jumped up on that side pocket shot right there, just to get the video ending before it hit 7 minutes and 30 seconds, because then my camera cuts off. And I was caught just on time because I had 3 seconds left. So, once we get through all the basics, with like finding the ghost ball, putting our foot on that line, getting down, and our backstroke and our forward stroke and our follow through, I'm going to go through the shooting routine with you. So what's going to happen when we actually get down to shoot? So when we get down to shoot, we're going to take a couple of big practice strokes. Some players, you see their ring finger moving. I don't really know what causes that. One day it just happened for me. So if yours does that, that's perfectly normal. But I'm not entirely sure why it moves. But for most pro players, you'll see it move. And one day it just started happening for me. So that's a thing. So you'll sometimes see my middle finger just pop up on its own. So don't worry, that's normal if yours does that. So, we're going to take a few big practice strokes, stop our tip at the cue ball, fine tune our aiming by taking small strokes, stop our tip at the cue ball, backstroke, forward stroke. So, it's not a hard routine. You're going to need to practice it for a while before you get it down. So, let me run through it a couple more times. So, find our spot, find our ghost ball, get down, big practice strokes, small ones, stop the tip. So the most important thing is stopping the tip, so you can see through the 2 balls. Now, people ask me, what ball do you look at last? Do you look at the object ball or the cue ball last? I always look at the object ball last. So the ball that I'm shooting at is the one I look at last. When you're down, your eyes are kind of shifting between the two, like cue ball, object ball, cue ball, object ball. I'll show you just real quick with my head. I don't move my head on this because it causes unnecessary movement. But say I'm looking at the cue ball, object ball, cue ball, object ball, cue ball, stop the tip and shoot. So I shoot at the object ball. I already have my tip where I want to hit on the cue ball, so it's not really necessary for me to look there anymore. So always look at the object ball last, because that's the main goal. What's the point of position if you can't make the shot, and what's the point of the shot if you can't make a position? So they really go hand in hand together, so you really need to know how to do both. I have my position series, and here's my shot making video. So now I'm going to go through the shooting routine full speed, what I do. So if I'm unsure about the shot, I find my ghost ball, get down and shoot. And that's the shooting routine. So I keep jumping up because I don't want my camera to run out of battery or overheat, because it does that so often and then my video files get deleted. So that was the shot routine. Okay, so if you haven't seen my combination tutorial video yet, I'll link it in the description. This is just a small, little excerpt from it, and just explaining the basics of combination shots, since this is just a shot making video. So I'm going to explain pretty much every shot that you need to make ever in pool. So we want to shoot the 5 into the 7, make the 7 in the corner pocket. Worst thing you can do is just get down and blindly aim at the 7. See, we missed it by a mile. We almost got lucky and made the 7 in the corner, but we didn't, so it doesn't really matter. So I'll put the balls roughly back where they were. I can't remember, this was more at an angle, and this was a little further towards me. Cue ball was like that, I'm pretty sure. It still has a heavy cut angle, kind of heavy cut angle on the 5 to 7, so we're pretty good. So to aim this combination shot, we are no longer aiming for a pocket. We are aiming for a spot on the rail. So just pretend that your 5 ball is your cue ball real quick, and we're going to find our ghost ball on the 7. Where we need to hit the 7 to pocket it in the corner, then we're going to extend that point through a rail. That rail is now our aiming point. So we are not aiming for anything but that spot on the rail. Imagine that 7 does not exist. Big strokes, small ones, stop, and there it is. Okay guys, if you have seen my bank tutorial or my kick tutorial, you have heard me say this phrase a bajillion times. Same angle in, same angle out. Now if you haven't seen that video, I'll explain it briefly. The same angle that a ball goes into the rail is the exact same angle that's going to come out of the rail. So according to this rule, if we hit where my tip is at a medium pace, the ball is going into this pocket. Watch what happens when we hit it really hard. See how it refuses to go in off of that rail? Watch what happens when we hit it really slow. Watch the angle just lengthen. And we make it off the rail. So that's called pocket speed. The slower you hit it is the more likely it can go in off of this little rail right here. And especially with tight pockets or terrible rails, like my terrible rails. My pockets aren't very tight, but my rails are absolutely terrible. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. If you liked, click the like button. I just had my Mass A tutorial video just hit, I think, 250 likes. And that's amazing. That's, I think, my highest like total. So thank you guys so much for that support. Thank you for the support and subscribers. When the outro comes, or even right now, if I keep this outro short, the circular button, click it. Help me hit 2,000 subs. I'm at 1,320 something as of now. So that would really help. If you liked, click the like button. If you did not like it, click the dislike button, obviously. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.